a slow homestead. I thought it was time to get busy and get another video out there for you. So we're going to take a garden tour today. But before we get going on that, I just want to explain why I'm not wearing glasses. It's because I had a cataract, and this was the second eye for a cataract. And now I have an artificial lens in there that is my perfect long distance vision. However, if I want to get a closer look at the camera, I have to wear these bifocals, which are reading glasses. So I think I will be getting another pair of regular glasses with clear glass on the top, and then a prescription bifocal that will be just right for me. It's kind of cumbersome to keep putting these on and off, on and off, on and off for everything that I do inside and outside the house. So anyway, I've had to recover from that procedure. Can't bend at the waist for about a week. Can't lift more than 25 pounds for about a week. Have to take eye drops for about a week. I just have been itching to go outside and do some yard work. And finally today I was able to do a little bit, but a little bit is better than nothing. But let's go look at the garden. Here's a little progress from that last video when I planted these potato pieces, and we talked all about planted potatoes here in our area. And they have sprouted and they're doing pretty well. There's this one, this one, this one, and this is the smallest one right here, but it has come up and it's doing well too. Here's the summer squash, this really big happy one, and then this smaller one. It's happy too, just not as big yet. Now as we come back this way, this is an undeterminate, it sounds funny to say it now, tomato plant, and so is this one. I have these two. This one has gotten a little taller. It's like about up to my neck, so pretty good. This one hasn't gotten quite as tall. The third one, right back here, it's about waist high to me, and it's a determinate. So that means that the tomatoes on that determinate plant will probably all come at the same time, pretty much all at the same time, because it's predetermined in the makeup of that plant. It will bloom all at once, which it's doing now. It'll set the fruit all at once, pretty much, and ripen all at once. So, first time I've ever grown a determinate tomato. These other two are indeterminate. I think I said undeterminate a few minutes ago. Indeterminate. They will just keep growing and keep vining. If I had a higher trellis to adhere these two, tie them up to, they would just keep going up, because it's not determined beforehand how long they're going to grow, and they will grow until the frost gets them. All right, now we're looking from the other direction. Here's that determinate tomato plant right here. Here is a broccoli plant. It already made a very small head earlier in the summer. I planted them too early in the house from seed, and so they've struggled. The other one is back here a little bit, still alive, but not very bushy or big yet, and it hasn't produced anything. I'm hoping that this one will make some side shoots. And I'd like to put a plug in for one of my YouTube friends. Susan's in the garden, and she recommends Bell Star broccoli. You know what? I'm going to buy some and try it next year, because not only does it produce a big head in the middle of the broccoli plant, but when it produces side shoots later on after the big head is harvested, those side shoots are also big. So it's worth a try. Bell Star, I'm going to try that. And if you want to look at Susan's in the Garden, that's a YouTube channel that you can go to. She's very smart. She does a lot of really great gardening. I have 10 pepper plants right here, and they're doing quite well, actually. There's some little buds right there, so that's gonna bloom, that's gonna bloom. That one's already got a bloom on it. That one's getting ready to bloom. These right here on this row are a little bit behind, and there's a bud right there, so that one's gonna bloom. And speaking of pepper plants, those are bell peppers. That's what I eat, so that's what I grow. These are the ones that I overwintered in my house because, I don't know if you know this, but bell peppers, well, peppers are perennial. And if you live in the right climate, you will have peppers coming back in your garden, just like any other perennial. But since we have a very short growing season, then I thought, well, I'll bring these in. So I did, and I brought them back out, and I've been picking peppers off of them. I learned that with several types of vegetables, you need to keep them picked and not let them get so big that they start producing seeds and get old on the vine, because it sends a message to the plant that now that it has produced seeds, it doesn't have to grow anything else. So things like peppers, tomatoes, squash, I think eggplant is the same way, and there's probably others. Keep them picked. Cucumbers is one for sure. If you let cucumbers get really big and yellow and full of big seeds, that you could actually harvest those seeds and plant them next year. But as soon as you start letting the cucumbers get big like that, the plant is going to stop making new ones. So keep all of those types of vegetables picked regularly so that you can keep picking them regularly. There's some pole beans that I planted to grow up this lattice here. Some of them have reached out, grabbed on to the lattice, and I think they're on their way, fingers crossed, because I have had a really challenging time this summer growing green beans, of all things. Usually they're so easy to grow and I have no problem with them. But this year I've had trouble getting them to germinate. I've had trouble with some little bug eating them off at the surface of the ground, probably a cutworm. It doesn't seem to matter if I've got great potting soil type dirt or just regular old soil that I have here at my place. First I thought, it's the soil, my soil is bad. And then my beans started dying in the enriched potting soil that I had. Then I thought, well, it must be a pest. So, speaking of my friend again, Susan's in the garden, and I didn't know this video was going to be an advertisement for her, but she really does have good information on her videos. Anyway, she has written a book on vegetable garden pests. It's called I think it's called the Vegetable Garden Pest Handbook. And I have one. I bought one. I need to go look it up for what kind of a pest will drive you crazy with your green beans, because that's what's happening here. Okay, let's go look at my son's garden. We're going to be going out in the sunshine, and we'll just make a quick trip of it so that I can show you his green bean patch. First, I'll explain what it is, and I've already talked about them before, but I'll tell you that these are beans that if you let them get older and harvest them for dry beans, the dry bean is big. I mean, it's about as big as the top of my pinky. Big beans. I always think of Jack and the Beanstalk when I see those. You know, he's got some sitting in a bowl on his kitchen table, and they're huge beans, huge dry beans. Anyway, I just always think of Jack and the Beanstalk because he must have had giant beans in order to get a giant beanstalk. The other unique thing about these beans, and I still forgot to ask him what they're called, is that their blossoms are red. So let's go look at them. As we're walking by these hollyhocks, look how pretty and red they are too. Here's my son's red blossomed beans. He gave me 5 of his beans, and I planted them at the bottom of each of 5 poles. There are 3 of them here and 2 of them on the other side of the steps. They never germinated, so I planted some regular Blue Lake pole beans, and they didn't germinate either. So I planted more Blue Lake pole beans, and a few of those did germinate. I also planted Blue Lake pole beans on both sides of my steps. Most of them didn't germinate. Some of them did and were soon after dead. So I planted more, and they didn't all germinate either. Some did, however, and my very best one got up the cattle panel 3.5 lines. And then it died. There it is. The stem that goes into the soil doesn't look too great, so I covered it up with more soil, wondering if it would make another root. I don't think beans do that. But this one has begun to climb. This one is climbing. This one is climbing. And this one. The marigolds that I planted in front of it are doing pretty well. On this other side, that one has caught on. That one is reaching. These 3 right here are some that I planted later. There's some little black things on that leaf. A lot of them. I don't know if it's like insect poop or I don't know. There's a little white trail behind it. Like maybe it's a spider thing. Maybe it's a spider problem I'm having. I replanted the marigolds on this side because they didn't come up the first time. Now they have come up, so we'll see if they stay up. One bean came up around this pole. None on this pole. I really don't think my soil's very good up here. I replanted some beans. They look a little chewed on, some of them, but all along here. Oh, beautiful periwinkle blue flowers, lobelia. And I planted medium-sized sunflowers against the fence here. There are actually 7 that germinated, green bean seeds that germinated around this pole. We had a very welcome thunderstorm yesterday evening, last night. It was so good I was worried about possible flooding, but all is well. There are 2 that germinated here. This small one right there, and this bigger one. Now it's possible that the bigger one is from my first planting of the normal Blue Lake green beans, and the small one might be the second time I planted them. There are 3 green beans that germinated around this pole. It's hard to tell, but there's that one, this one, and that one behind there. They're really dirty. They've been splashed upon because, wow, that rainstorm we had was a cloudburst. It just came down quick. It also brought down this little branch out of my tree. There's my shoe. Yeah, so it's not a huge branch, but little. Here's my potato patch that I planted earlier in the summer. And I put extra compost on it to hill it up, if you remember that. They're doing well. They blossomed before, so that means potatoes are growing in the ground. The yellow onions are doing well. I have them all around the entire bed. One other thing that I could have showed you, but didn't think about it while I was out there, but I'll show you the results of it. And that is the pea plants. They have pretty much given me their all and have exhausted themselves and done a good job this year, as always. So the last harvest is here in this bag. And that's what I'm going to be doing this evening, is taking care of these peas. There's nothing like homegrown, sweet English peas. Yeah, so good. I actually made creamed peas, put them over mashed potatoes, and had a ground beef patty with it. So good. If you're from the South, you probably harvested your peas months ago. But we're just finishing up our pea harvest here now, so. And we're so thankful to have it. And so thankful we got the rain yesterday. So thankful we didn't get flooded. Knock on wood. Remember, as you're harvesting your peas or whatever it is you're harvesting, or whatever it is you're doing, that even when you take it slow, you can accomplish a lot. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.